lead us, guide us, and direct us. Let us to understand even a deeper understanding and revelation than we've ever known before. As we continue on with our reading of the book of Hanok, the book of Enoch, the end of the chapter fittingly said, "Then I Barak Yahuwah of esteem and said, Baruch be my master, Yahuwah of righteousness, who rules forever. From there I went to another place, to the west of the ends of the earth, and I saw a burning fire which ran without rest, and did not cease from its course day or night, but regularly. And I asked, saying, What is this which does not rest? Then Rugael, one of the Kadosh messengers who was with me, answered me and said unto me, This course of fire which you have seen is the fire in the west, which pursues all the lights of the Shemayim. And from there I went to another place of the earth, and he showed me a mountain range of fire which burnt day and night. And I went beyond it and saw even magnificent mountains, all differing from one another. And the stones were magnificent and pleasant, magnificent as a whole, of magnificent appearance and fair exterior. 3 towards the east, one foundation of the other, and the 3 towards the south, one upon the other. And the deep rough rains ran, none of which joined with any other. And the 7th mountain was in the midst of them, and it excelled them in height, resembling the seat of the throne, and fragrant trees encircled the throne. And amongst them was a tree such as I had never yet smelled, neither was any amongst them, nor there others like it. It had a fragrance beyond all fragrance, and its leaves and blooms and wood withered not forever. And its fruit is pleasant, and its fruit resembles the dates of a palm. Then I said, How pleasant is this tree, and fragrant, and its leaves are fair, and its blooms are delightful in appearance. Then answered Michael, one of the Kadosh and honored messengers who was with me, and was their leader. And he said unto me, Hanok, why do you ask me regarding the fragrance of the tree, and why do you want to learn the truth? Then I answered him, saying, I want to know about all matters, but especially about this tree. And he answered, saying, This high mountain which you have seen, whose summit is like the throne of Elohim, is his throne, where the Kadosh Great One, Yahuwah of esteem, the eternal sovereign, will sit, when he shall come down to visit the earth with goodness. And as for this fragrant tree, no mortal is permitted to touch it till the great judgment, when he shall take vengeance on all, and bring to its end forever, and shall then be given to the righteous and kadosh. Its fruit shall be for food to the elect, and it shall be transplanted to the kadosh place, to the hekal of Yahuwah, the eternal sovereign. Then they shall rejoice and with joy and be glad, and into the kadosh place they shall enter, and its fragrance shall be in their bones, and they shall live a long life on earth, such as your fathers lived, and in their days shall no sorrow or plague or torment or calamity touch them. Then I Barak, the Elohim of esteem, the eternal sovereign, who was prepared such matters for the righteous, and has created them and promised to give them. And I went from there to the middle of the earth, and I saw a Baruch place in which there were trees with branches abiding and blooming. And there I saw a Kadosh mountain, and underneath the mountain to the east there was a stream, and it flowed towards the south. And I saw towards the east another mountain higher than this, and between them a deep and narrow ravine, wherein also ran a stream underneath the mountain. And to the west of there was another mountain, lower than the former, and of small height, and a ravine deep and dry between them. And another deep and dry ravine was at the extremities of the three mountains. And all the ravines were deep and narrow, of hard rock, and trees were not planted upon them. And I marveled at the rocks, and I marveled at the ravine. Truly, I marveled very much. Then I said, for what object is this Baruch land, which is entirely filled with trees, and this accursed valley between? Then Uriel, one of the Kadosh messengers who was with me, answered and said, this accursed valley is for those who are accused forever. They shall all be accursed, be gathered together, who utter with their lips against Yahuwah indecent words, and of his esteem speak harshness. Here shall they be gathered together, and here shall be their place of judgment in the last days. There shall be upon them the spectacle of righteous judgment in the presence of righteous forever. Here shall be the compassionate Barak Yahuwah of esteem, the eternal sovereign. In the days of judgment over the former, they shall Barak him for the compassion in accordance with which he has assigned them. Then I Barak Yahuwah of esteem, and proclaimed his esteem, and exalted him magnificently. And then I went towards the east into the midst of the mountain range of the desert, and I saw a wilderness, and it was solitary, full of trees and plants, and water gushed forth from above, rushing like a plentiful watercourse towards the northeast. It caused clouds and dew to ascend on every side. And then I went to another place in the desert, and approached to the east of the mountain range, and there I saw aromatic trees, exalting the fragrance of frankincense and myrrh, and the trees also were similar to the almond tree. And beyond these I went far to the east, and I saw another place, a valley of water, and therein there was a tree, the color of fragrant trees such as gum tree. And on the sides of those valleys I saw fragrant cinnamon, and beyond those I proceeded to the east. And I saw another mountain, and amongst them were groves of trees, and their sweet liquid flowed forth from them, which is named Sarah and Galbanum. And beyond these mountains I saw another mountain to the east of the ends of the earth, wherein were aloe trees, and all the trees were full of incense like almond trees. And when one burnt it, it smelled sweeter than any fragrant odor. And after these fragrant odors, as I looked towards the north over the mountains, I saw 7 mountains full of choice nard and fragrant trees, and cinnamon and pepper. And then I went over to the summits of all of these mountains, far towards the east of the east, and passed above the eastern sea, and went far from it, and passed over the messenger Zoiteal. And I came to the garden of righteousness, and I saw beyond those trees many trees, large trees growing there, and a pleasant fragrance, large, very pleasant and great, and the tree of wisdom, of which they ate and knew great wisdom. The tree is in height like the fir, and its leaves are like the carob tree, and its fruit is like the clusters of the vine, very lovely, and the fragrance of the tree penetrates afar. Then I said, how lovely is the tree, and how good to look at. And then Raphael, the Kadosh messenger who was with me, answered me and said, this is the tree of wisdom, of which your elderly father and your aged mother who were before you have eaten. And they learned wisdom, and their eyes were opened, and they knew that they were naked, and they were driven out of the garden. And from there I went to the ends of the earth, and I saw there great beasts, and each differed from the other, And birds also differed in appearance and form and voice, the one differing from one another. And the east of those beasts I saw the ends of the earth wherein the Shemayim rest, and the portals of the Shemayim open. And I saw how the stars of the Shemayim came forth. And I counted the portals out of which they proceeded, and wrote down all of their outlets of each individual star by itself, according to their number and their names, their courses and their positions, and their times and their months, as Uriel, the Kadosh messenger who was with me, showed me. He showed all matters to me, and wrote them down for me, and also their names he wrote for me, and their laws and their beginnings. And from there I went towards the north to the end of the earth, and there I saw a great and magnificent object at the end of the whole earth. And here, Yahuwah of hosts, I saw 3 portals of the Shemayim open in the Shemayim. Through each of them proceeded north winds. When they blew, there is cold, hail, frost, snow, dew, and rain. And out of one portal they blew for good. But when they blew through the other 2 portals, it is with vengeance and affliction on the earth, and they blow with violence. And from there I went towards the west to the ends of the earth, and saw there 3 portals of the Shemayim, open such as I had seen in the east, the same number of portals and the same number of outlets. And from there I went to the south to the ends of the earth, and saw the 3 open portals of the Shemayim. And then there came dew, rain, and wind. And from there I went to the east to the ends of the Shemayim, and saw where the 3 eastern portals of the Shemayim open, and small portals above them. Through each of these small portals pass the stars of the Shemayim, and run their course to the west on the path which is shown to them. And as often as I saw, I barak always Yahuwah of esteem. And I continued to barak Yahuwah of esteem, who has brought great and magnificent wonders to show the greatness of his work to the messengers and to the spirits and to men, that they might praise his work and all his creation, that they might see the work of his might and praise the great work of his hand, and barak him forever. The second vision which he saw, the vision of wisdom, which Hanok, the son of Zered, the son of Mechal, the son of Canaan, the son of Enosh, and son of Seth, the son of Adam, saw. And this is the beginning of the words of wisdom, which I lift up my voice to speak, and say to those who dwell on the earth, hear you men of old, and see you that come after the words of the Kadosh one, which I will speak before Yahuwah of hosts. If were better to declare to the men of old, but even from those that come after, we will not withhold the beginning of wisdom. Till the present day of such wisdom has never been given by Yahuwah of hosts, as I have received according to my insight, according to the good pleasure of Yahuwah of hosts, by whom the lot of eternal high or life has been given to me. Now 3 parables were imparted to me, and I lifted up my voice and recounted them to those that dwell on the earth. The first parable: when the congregation of the righteous shall appear, and sinners shall be judged for their sin, and shall be driven from the face of the earth. And when the righteous one shall appear before the eyes of the righteous, whose elect works hang upon Yahuwah of hosts, and the light shall appear to the righteous, and to the elect who dwell on the earth, wherein then will be the dwelling of the sinners, and where the resting place of those who have denied Yahuwah of hosts. It would have been good for them if they had not been born. When the secrets of the righteous shall be revealed to the sinners rightfully ruled, and the wicked driven from the presence of the righteous and elect, from that time those that possess the earth shall no longer be powerful and exalted, and they shall not be able to look upon the face of the Kadosh, for Yahuwah of hosts has caused his light to appear on the face of the Kadosh, righteous, and the elect. Then shall the sovereign of the mighty perish and be given into the hands of the righteous and the Kadosh, and from their end none shall seek for themselves compassion from Yahuwah of hosts, for their life is at an end. And it shall come to be in those days that elect and Kadosh children will descend from the high Shemayim, and their seed will become one with the children of men. And in those days Hanok received books of Adar and wrath, and the books of unrest and expulsion, and compassion shall be granted to them, says Yahuwah of hosts. And in those days a whirlwind carries me off from the earth, and put me down at the end of the Shemayim. And there I saw another vision, the dwelling place of the Kadosh, and the resting place of the righteous. Here my eyes saw their dwelling with his righteous messengers, and their resting places, and with the Kadosh, and they petitioned and interceded and prayed for the children of men, and righteousness flowed before them as water, and compassion like dew upon the earth, and so it amongst them forever and ever. And in that place my eyes saw the elect, one of righteousness and of belief, and I saw his dwelling place under the wing of Yahuwah of hosts. And righteousness shall prevail in his days, and the righteous and the elect shall be without number before him forever and ever. And all the righteous and elect before him shall be strong as fiery lights, and their mouth shall be full of barakah, of blessings, and their lips exalt the name of Yahuwah of hosts. And righteousness before him shall never fail, and uprightness shall never fail before him. Therefore I wanted to dwell, and my spirit longed for that dwelling place, and there as yet has been my portion. For so has it been established concerning me before Yahuwah of hosts. And in those days I praised and exalted the name of Yahuwah of hosts with barakah and praises. And because he has destined me for the barakah and esteem according to the good pleasure of Yahuwah of hosts. And for a long time my eyes regarded that place, and I barak him, and I praised him, saying, Barak is he, and may he be Baruch from the beginning and for eternity. And before him there is no ceasing, and he knows before the world was created what is forever, and what shall be from generation until generation. Those do not sleep, Barak. They stand before your esteem, and Barak, praise and exalt, saying, Kadosh, Kadosh, Kadosh is Yahuwah of hosts. He fills the earth with spirits. And here my eyes saw all those who do not sleep. They stand before him and Barak and say, Barak be you, and Barak be the name of Yahuwah forever and ever. And my face was changed, for I could no longer look on. After that I saw thousands of thousands, and 10,000, 10 times 10,000s, and I saw the multitude beyond number and reckoning who stood before Yahuwah of hosts. And on the four sides of Yahuwah of hosts I saw four presences, different from those that do not sleep. And I learned their names, for the messengers that went with me made known to me their names, and showed me all the hidden matters. And I heard the voice of those four presences as they uttered praises before Yahuwah of esteem. The first voice, Barak Yahuwah of hosts, forever and ever. And the second voice I heard, Barakah, or blessings, the elect one, and the elect ones who hang upon Yahuwah of hosts. And the third voice I heard, pray and intercede for those who dwell on the earth, and make supplications in the name of Yahuwah of hosts. And I heard the fourth voice fending off the adversaries and forbidding them to come before Yahuwah of hosts to accuse them who dwell on the earth. After that, I asked the messengers of peace who went with me, who showed me all matters that are hidden. Who are these four presences which I have seen, and whose words have I heard and written down? And he said to me, this first is Michael, full of favor and patience. And the second, who is appointed over all the diseases and all the wounds of the children of men, is Raphael. And the third, who is appointed over all the powers, is Gabriel. And the fourth, who is appointed over the repentance unto hope of those who inherit eternal high or life, is named Raphael. And these are the four messengers of Yahuwah of hosts, and the four voices I heard in those days. And after that I saw all the secrets of the Shemayim, and how the rain is divided, and how the actions of men are weighed in the balance. And there I saw the mansions of the elect and the mansions of the Kadosh, and my eyes saw there all the sinners being driven from there which deny the name of Yahuwah of hosts, and being dragged off, and they could not abide because of the punishment which proceeds from Yahuwah of hosts. And their eyes saw the secret of the lightning and of the thunder, and the secrets of the winds, how they are divided to blow over the earth, and the secrets of the clouds and the dew. And these I saw from where they proceeded, in the place from where they saturate the dusty earth. And there I saw closed chambers out of which the winds are divided, the chambers of the hail and the winds, the chambers of the mist and of the clouds, and the clouds thereof hover over the earth from the beginning of the world. And I saw the chambers of the sun and the moon, where they proceeded and where they come again, and their magnificent return, and how one is superior to the other, and their safety and their safely orbit, and how they do not leave their orbit, and they do not add to their orbit, and they do not take from it, and they keep trust with each other in the accordance with the oath by which they are bound together. And first the sun goes forth and travels his path according to the commandment of Yahuwah of hosts, and the mighty is his name forever and ever. And after that I saw the hidden and the visible path of the moon, and she accomplishes the course of her path in that place by day and by night, the one holding a position opposite to the other before Yahuwah of hosts. And they give thanks and praise, and do not rest, for unto them is their thanksgiving rest. For the sun changes often, for the baraka, or the blessing, or a curse. And the course of the path of the moon is light to the righteous, and darkness to the sinners, in the name of Yahuwah, who made a separation between the light and the darkness, and divided the spirits of men, and strengthened the spirits of righteous in the name of his righteousness. For no messenger delays, and no power is able to delay, for he appoints a right ruler for them all, and he rightly rules them all before him. Wisdom found no place where she might dwell. Then a dwelling place was assigned for her in the Shemayim. Wisdom went forth to make her dwelling among the children of men, and found no dwelling place. Wisdom returned to her place, and took her seat among the messengers. And unrighteousness went forth from her chamber, whom she did not seek. She found, and dwelt with them, as rain in a desert, and dew on as a thirsty land. And I saw other lightnings and the stars of the Shemayim, and I saw how he called them all by their names, and they listened to him. And I saw how they are weighted in their righteous balance according to their portion of light. the width of their spaces, and how the day of their appearing, and how their revolution produces lightning, and their revolution according to the number of the messengers, and they keep trust with each other. And I asked the messenger who went with me, who showed me what was hidden, what are these? And he said to me, Yahuwah of hosts has shown you their similarity. These are the names of the Kadosh who dwell in the earth, and believe in the name of Yahuwah of hosts forever and ever. Also, another matter I saw in regarding to the lightning, how some of the stars arise and become lightning and cannot part with their new form. And this is the second parable concerning those who deny the name of the dwelling of the Kadoshim and Yahuwah of hosts. And in the Shemayim, or the heavens, they shall not ascend, and on the earth they shall not come. Such shall be the lot of the sinners, who has denied the name of Yahuwah of hosts, who are thus preserved for the day of suffering and tribulation. On that day my elect one shall sit on the throne of esteem, and shall try their works. And their places of rest shall be innumerable, and their being shall grow strong within them when they see my elect ones, and those who have called upon my magnificent name. Then I will cause my elect one to dwell among them, and I will transform the Shemayim and make it an eternal baraka and light. And I will transform the earth and make it a baraka, and I will cause my elect ones to dwell upon it. But the sinners and evildoers shall not place a foot upon it. For I have provided and satisfied with peace my righteous ones, and have caused them to dwell before me. But for the sinners there is judgment impending with me, so that I shall destroy them from the face of the earth. And there I saw one who had a head of days, and his head was white like wool, and with him was another being whose face had the appearance of a man, and his face was full of favor, like one of the Kadosh messengers. And I asked the messenger who went with me, and showed me all of the hidden matters concerning the Ben, or the son of Adam, who he was, and where he was, why he went with the head of days. And he answered and said unto me, This is the Ben, or the son of Adam, who has righteousness, with whom dwelt righteousness, and who revealed all the treasures of that which is hidden, because Yahuwah of hosts has chosen him, and whose lot has the preeminence before Yahuwah of hosts in unrighteous forever, or uprighteousness forever. And the son of Adam, who you have seen, shall arise up in the sovereigns and the mighty from their thrones, and shall loosen the kidneys of the strong, and break the teeth of the sinners. And he shall put down the sovereigns from their thrones, and reign, because they do not exalt and praise him, nor humble acknowledge where the reign was bestowed upon them. And he shall put down the pride of the strong, and shall fill them with shame. And darkness shall be their dwelling, and worms shall be their bed. And they shall have no hope of rising from their beds, because they do not exalt the name of Yahuwah of hosts. This one that he is speaking of here, that is the son of Adam, is none other than our Messiah, Yahushua HaMashiach, that it is speaking of here. As you can see here, he was chosen. He was full of favor. He is the only begotten Son. He is the Son of righteousness, the Son of Yahuwah. We'll continue in 7. And these are they who judge the stars of the Shemayim, and raise their hands against the Most High, and tread upon the earth, and dwell upon it. and all their deeds manifest unrighteousness, and their powers rest upon their riches, and their belief is in the mighty ones which they have made with their hands, and they deny the name of Yahuwah of hosts, and they persecute the houses of his congregation, and the trustworthy who hang upon the name of Yahuwah of hosts. Wow. And in those days, the prayer of the righteous and the blood of the righteous shall have ascended from the earth before Yahuwah of hosts. In those days, the Kedoshim who dwell above in the Shemayim shall unite with one voice and make supplication and prayer and praise and give thanks and barak, or bless the name of Yahuwah of hosts on behalf of the blood of the righteous, which has been shed, and that the prayer of the righteous may not be in vain before Yahuwah of hosts, that judgment may be done unto them, and that they may not have to suffer forever. In those days I saw the head of days, when he seated himself upon the throne of his esteem, and the books of the living were opened before him, and all his host which is in the Shemayim above, and his counselors stood before him. And the hearts of the Kadosh were filled with joy, because the number of the righteous had been offered, and the prayer of the righteous had been heard, and the blood of the righteous been required before Yahuwah of hosts. And in that place I saw the fountain of righteousness, which had inexhaustible, and around it were many fountains of wisdom, and all the thirsty drank of them, and were filled with wisdom, and their dwelling were with the righteous and the Kadosh and the elect. And at the hour of the son, or the ben of Adam, was named in the presence of Yahuwah of hosts, and his name before the head of days. Even before the sun and the signs were created, before the stars of the Shemayim were made, his name was named before Yahuwah of hosts. He shall be a staff to the righteous, to brace themselves upon and not fall. And he shall be the light of the nations, and the hope of those who are troubled of heart. All who dwell on the earth shall fall down and worship before him, and will praise and barak and celebrate Yahuwah of hosts with song. And for this reason he has been chosen and hidden before him, before the creation of the world and for eternity. And the wisdom of Yahuwah of hosts has been revealed, him to the Kadosh and righteous. For he has preserved the lot of the righteous, because they have hated and despised this world of unrighteousness, and have hated all of its works and ways in the name of Yahuwah of hosts. For in his name they are saved, and according to his good pleasure it has been in regard to their life. In those days the sovereigns of the earth shall have become downcast in the face, and the strong who possess the land, because of the works of their hands. For on the day of their anguish and affliction they shall not save themselves, and I will give them over into the hands of my elect. As straw in the fire, so they shall burn before the face of the Kadosh. As lead in the water, they shall sink before the faces of the righteous, and no trace of them shall be found any more. And on the day of their affliction there shall be rest on the earth, and before them they shall fall and not rise again. And there shall be no one to take them with his hand and raise them, for they have denied Yahuwah of hosts and his anointed. The name of Yahuwah of hosts be Baruch, or blessed. For mighty is poured out like water, and esteem failed not before him for eternity. For he is mighty in all the secrets of righteousness, and unrighteousness shall disappear as a shadow, and have no continuance. Because the elect one stands before Yahuwah of hosts, and his esteem is forever and ever, and his might upon all generations. And in him dwells the spirit of wisdom, and the spirit which gives insight, and the spirit of understanding and of might, and the spirit of those who have fallen asleep in righteousness. And he shall judge the secret matters, and none shall be able to utter a lying word before him. For he is the elect one before Yahuwah of hosts, according to his good pleasure. And in those days a change shall take place for the Kodesh and the elect, and the light of day shall abide upon them, and esteem and honor shall turn to the Kodesh. And on the day of affliction, on which evil shall have been treasured up against the sinners, and the righteous shall be victorious in the name of Yahuwah of hosts, and he will cause the others to witness, that they may repent and abandon the works of their hands. They shall have no honor through the name of Yahuwah of hosts, yet through his name they shall be saved. And Yahuwah of hosts will have compassion on them, for his compassion is great. And he is righteous also in his judgment, and in the presence of his esteem. Unrighteousness also shall not maintain itself. At his judgment the unrepentant shall perish before him. And from herein I will have no compassion on them, says Yahuwah of hosts. And in those days shall the earth also give back that which it has been entrusted to it, and the grave also shall give back that which it has received, and the Gena or Sheol shall give back that which it owes. And in those days the elect one shall arise, and he shall choose the righteous and the Kodesh from among them. For the days has drawn near that they should be saved. And the elect one shall in those days sit on my throne, and his mouth shall pour forth all the secrets of wisdom and counsel. For Yahuwah of hosts has given to him and has esteemed him. Just like we were learning, Yahusha is the spoken word of Yahuwah. It just was said here again. And in those days the mountains shall leap like rams, and the hills also shall skip like lambs satisfied with milk. And the faces of the messengers in the Shemayim shall be lifted up with joy, and the earth shall rejoice, and the righteous shall dwell upon it, and the elect shall walk upon it. And after those days, in the place where I had seen all the visions of that which is hidden, for I had been carried off in the whirlwind, and there had borne me towards the west. There my eyes saw all the secret matters of the Shemayim, that shall be a mountain of iron, and a mountain of copper, and a mountain of silver, and a mountain of gold, and a mountain of soft metal, and a mountain of lead. And I asked the messengers who went with me, saying, What are these which I have seen in secret? And he said unto me, All of these which you have seen shall serve the domination of his anointed, that have may be potent and mighty on the earth. And that messengers of peace answered, saying unto me, Wait a little, and there shall be revealed unto you all the secret matters which surround Yahuwah of hosts. And these mountains which your eyes have seen, the mountains of iron, and the mountain of copper, and the mountain of silver, and the mountain of gold, and the mountain of soft metals, and the mountains of lead, all these shall be in the presence of the elect one, as wax before the fire, and like the water which steams down from above, and they shall become powerless before his feet. And it shall come to be in those days that none shall be saved, either by gold or by silver, and none shall be able to escape. And there shall be no iron for war, nor shall one clothe oneself with a breastplate. Bronze shall be of no service, and tin shall be not esteemed, and lead shall not be desired. And all of these shall be destroyed from the surface of the earth, when the elect one shall appear before the face of Yahuwah of hosts. There my eyes saw a deep valley with open mouths, and all who dwell on the earth and the seas and the islands shall bring to him gifts and presents and tokens of homage, but that deep valley shall not become full. and their hands commit lawless deeds, and the sinners devour all whom they lawlessly oppress. Yet the sinners shall be destroyed before the face of Yahuwah of hosts, and they shall be banished from off the face of his earth, and they shall perish forever and ever, as we learn that there is no eternal hell. They're going to perish. They're going to exist no more. It's said it a couple times in here already. More confirmation of what we've been learning. For I saw all the messengers of punishment abiding and preparing all the instruments of Hasatan. And I asked the messenger of peace who went with me, from whom are they preparing these instruments? And he said unto me, they prepare these for the sovereigns and the mighty of the earth, that they might be destroyed by them. And after this, the righteous and elect one shall cause the house of his congregation to appear. From now on, they shall be no longer hindered in the name of Yahuwah of hosts, and these mountains shall not stand as the earth before his righteousness. And the hills shall be as a fountain of water, and the righteous shall have rest from the oppression of the sinners. And I looked and turned to another part of the earth, and saw there a deep valley with burning fire. And they brought the sovereigns and the mighty, and began to cast them into the deep valley. And there my eyes saw how they made these their instruments, irons, chains, and immeasurable weights. And I asked the messenger of peace who went with me, saying, for whom are these chains being prepared? And he said unto me, these are being prepared for the host of Azael, so that they may take them and cast them into the abyss of complete condemnation. And they shall cover their jaws with rough stones, as Yahuwah of hosts commanded. And Michael and Gabriel and Raphael and Phanuel shall take hold of them on the great day, and cast them on the day into the burning furnace, that Yahuwah of hosts may take vengeance on them for their unrighteousness in becoming subjects to Hasatan, and leading astray those who dwell on the earth. And in those days punishment shall come from Yahuwah of hosts, and he will open all the chambers of the waters which are above the Shemayim, or the heavens, and of the fountains of the that are beneath the earth, and all the waters shall be joined with the waters that which is above the Shemayim, or the heavens, in the masculine, and the waters which is beneath the earth is the feminine. And they shall destroy all who dwell on the earth, and those who dwell under the earth of the Shemayims. And when they have recognized their unrighteousness, which they have wrought on the earth, then by these shall they perish. And after that, the head of the days repented and said, in vain I have destroyed all who have dwelled on the earth. And he swore by his great name, from now on I will not do so to all who dwell on the earth. And I will place a sign in the Shemayim, or the heavens, and this shall be a pledge of good trust between me and them forever, so long as the Shemayim, or the heavens, is above the earth. And this is accordance with my command. This is none other than the rainbow that we see. This is his covenant. When I have desired to take a hold of them by the hand of the messengers on the day of tribulation and pain, because of this I will cause my chastisement and my wrath to abide upon them, says Elohim, Yahuwah of hosts. You mighty sovereigns who dwell on the earth, you shall have to look upon my elect one, how he sits on the throne of esteem, and judges Azael and all his associates, and all his host in the name of Yahuwah of hosts. And I saw there the host of the messengers of punishment going, and they held scourges and chains of iron and bronze. And I asked the messenger of peace who went with me, saying, to whom are these who hold the scourges going? And he said unto me, to their elect and beloved ones, that they may be cast into the chastisement. And he said to me, to their elect and beloved ones, that they may be cast into the chasm of the abyss of the valley. And then that valley shall be filled with their elect and beloved, and the days of their life shall be at an end, and the days of their leading astray shall be reckoned therefore. What I'm getting with this here is it's talking about these false preachers and teachers of today, the elect of this world, the ones that are false teachers and preachers, the ones that are teaching the doctrines of man, the doctrines of demons in the churches of today. I believe that's what this is speaking of here. And in those days the messengers shall return and hurl themselves to the east upon the Parthians and the Madites, and there shall stir up the sovereigns, so that the spirit of unrest shall come upon them, and they shall rouse from their thrones, and they may break forth as lions from their lairs, and as hungry wolves among their flock. And they shall go up and tread under the foot the land of his elect ones. But the city of my righteous shall be a hindrance to their horses, and they shall begin to fight amongst themselves, and their right hand shall be strong against themselves. And the man shall not know his brother, nor a son his father or his mother, till there be no number of the corpses through their slaughter, and their punishment be not in vain. In those days the grave shall open its jaws, and they shall be swallowed up therein, and their destruction shall be at an end, and the grave shall devour the sinners in the presence of the elect. And it came to be after this that I saw another host of chariots and men riding upon them, and coming on the winds from the east and from the west to the south, and the noises of their chariots was heard. And when this turmoil took place, the Kedoshim from their Shemayim observed it, and the pillars of the earth were moved from their place, and the sound thereof was heard from one end of the Shemayim to the other in one day. And they that shall all fall down and worship the host, the Yahuwah of hosts. And this is the end of the second parable. And I began to speak the third parable concerning the righteous and elect. Baruch, or blessed are you, you righteous and elect, for magnificent shall be your lot. And the righteous shall be in the light of the sun, and the elect in their light of the eternal high, or life. The days of their high, or life, shall be unending, and the days of the Kadosh without number. And they shall seek the light and find righteousness with Yahuwah of hosts. There shall be peace to the righteous in the name of the eternal Master. And after this it shall be said to the Kadesh in the Shemayim, that they should seek out the secrets of righteousness, the heritage of belief, for it has become bright as the sun upon the earth, and the darkness is past. And there shall be light that never ends, and to the number of days they shall not come. For the darkness shall first have been destroyed, and the light of righteousness established forever before Yahuwah of hosts. In those days my eyes saw the secrets of the lightnings, and of the lights, the right rulings. They executed and they enlightened. For a baraka, or a blessing, or a curse, as Yahuwah of hosts desires. And there I saw the secrets of the thunder, and how when it resounds above the Shemayim, or the heavens, the sound thereof is heard. And he caused me to see the right rulings executed on the earth, whether they be for well-being and baraka, or for a curse, according to the word of Yahuwah of hosts. And after that, all the secrets of the lights and the lightnings were shown to me, and they lightened for baraka and for satisfying. That is the end of that until we continue on next week with chapter 60. What an enlightening understanding we have been given here. This is something that maybe needed to be heard a second time, because there's so much that's contained within this. So much wisdom that's been released here. So much confirmation of things. I think I understand more why these books, or this book, but the books of that were removed, why they were threatened by this because it goes against their doctrines that they teach in the churches, the doctrines of hell and all of those things, and where you go after death and what happens to you and who's going to be there. We've been given a lot of details these last 2 weeks. I'm sure that it has spoken to you as it has spoken to me. I just pray that Yahuwah will continue to lead you and guide you in all of your ways, and that you will continue to seek him and to find the wisdom and his truth, the truth of who he is, the truth of his name and his ways, what he has commanded of us. Until next week, Shabbat Shalom.